All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, programmers. So today, we're gonna be discussing about the another two principles of OOP, which are inheritance and polymorphism. Okay, so let's review the our discussions last time. We had discussed about the idea of encapsulation, which is the first principle of OOP, where we actually created a class, no, which is we actually encapsulated a class, and we make we made the properties becomes private, and then after that, the operations or behavior are like public. Okay, so which is that's actually the behavior of in encapsulation. Okay, so let's say for an instance we are going to this time, when we invoke or when we implement an inheritance and polymorphism, first thing we will do is, of course, we have to know the idea of encapsulation. So let's say for an instance, we are going to have, let's say we're going to maintain the, like the student as an object. So meaning to say student can be our data sources. All right. So, okay, from here, we are going to create an encapsulated class for student. And so let's say we are going to maintain the property of a student. So what are these properties of the students, or how do we describe as a student? How do we know that student is a student? So all we just need to do is we have to have, so we know it's a student because it's normally it has a student ID. Okay, so something like that. So we have student ID. Sige, let's not start with student, para let's go mas higher than that. So let's say a person. Okay, okay, so person and then student. So we have person and student. So we are going to create relationship for the student and for the person object. Okay? So kasi ang pinaka-goal natin dito is we implement the inheritance, no, the ability of a class to share common properties, to inherit properties of the other class. So let's say for an instance we have this the person. So we are going to make this person like a parent of a student class. So right here we are going to create a, let's say, student person, let's say name. Okay, so let's say we are going to have your person name. It's well up to you, know, you can actually directly name it as like person or name. So what else do we have in person? We have gender. Okay, a person age. What else? And we are going to have here like string. So sa age, pwede nato ni siya i-ano as an integer, but it depends to us, no, kung himuon nato ni siyang derived value. So if we are going to make this as like derived value, we can make this as an integer value, but okay na ni siya na this would be a string for now. Yeah, what else? Unsa pa may na as a person? Like how do we describe a person as a person? Unsa pa may mga attributes na kay person?
ID sir, ID number no?
ID. So not all persons naman has ID, tama? Tama
Yes
ba?
sir.
Oh,
Yes sir.
so we will not include person ID here kasi not all persons has ID. Okay, sa paman, person, probably ayang address, no? So private, himo na lang nato ning age ang person kay para na variation of data. So private in person, and then let's say private sa paman, address. So though dili pwede nato ni siya ibutang. So person, address, like status, okay, person status. something like that. So these are the properties of what makes a person, and there's still more, no? Usually we see it from biodata, no? Those that we see sa biodata mo to ang mga person attributes. But for now, for let's stick to this to this ano no information or to this attributes of a person, and then so as I've told you before, we have this I have taught you rather pod I mean I have taught you before that we can actually generate setters and getters for every class. Once we encapsulate, no, Java knows already this property of our class that we are actually creating. So let's say we are going to select this one all. Okay, just wait for a while. So mani. So we have here na may unsa ni. So I have here person, address, and then these are the properties of a person. I'm going to create setter and getter for each of this one. So just click on generate, and you will have here automatically a, a setter for each of our person. Okay, so again, as it is encapsulated, we can always create an object of this person. So yeah, no, I mean this is what you can do for your person class. Let's say p is let's say p1 equals new person. Okay, so as you can see, we haven't defined any constructor of person yet. However, we are actually able to instantiate a P1 object of a person as as a class as an object of that person, which is defined by a default constructor. Though wala ta nag-set, and the only thing we set here is actually are actually the setters and getters for our person. So person name, set person gender, get person address, set person address, these things. So these are the things that you can actually call like p1 that's set. So if you are going to set name, yan. So let's say you want to set name, Anna, ayan. Uh, P1 dot, P1 dot set gender. So you can do this like this kind of, I don't know. So ayan. Right. And then of course, if you want to display them, you can display them like, let's say, of your name, and then you have here p1 dot set person get person name. So get person name, and then you'll have here another one, let's say gender, p1 dot get person gender. Of course you don't appreciate it for now, because what's the point of Siyempre na, what's the point of having this kind of like program wherein, sir, pwede naman ko, di ba, mangayo og input from J option pane, and then I will store it to on a variable, let's say name, gender, and then after that I will display it. Nothing is actually special with this with what you are trying to do now. Yes, for now, you don't appreciate that much, but in the future, along the way, no, when you keep on writing programs, you will be able to appreciate the things that we do here. So especially later on, maanam-anam na rin siya ka-appreciate. Okay, so let's get back to our test person program right here. We can now run our program. So we have here name, may Anna, female, so on and so forth. Okay, now let's go back to our person. Of course, those things that we have right here can be called in the test person. Okay, so those are declared as public, can be called in the test person class. Okay, particularly the setters and getters. Okay, of course, it's up. you don't have to forget the idea of creating a what we call this one, a constructor. Though Java automatically creates default constructor, it would be good if you are going to create a constructor every time you create a class in Java. So for instance, you want to declare your name as to like uh, as no value, because if you're not going to declare person name into like this one, for an instance, you haven't declared any uh, any of this in your class. So let's say for an instance, you are going to call right here, let's say address. Okay, address, and then you haven't set the address. So and then you're now calling address of from your person class. So get person address. When you run this one, you would have here null. So we have to prevent the null value as a value of our getter. So the only way, I mean, one of the ways to eradicate this null values here in our attributes is, of course, we'll need to declare here something like what would you like to put in an address by default. Let's say you want na walay value, okay, or you want that there is a value. It depends on you. So let's say for an instance, you call this one, so you have here yan, Anna, female, and then address that you don't have any value. Let's say you are going to put here value, let's say Davao City. And then when you run your program, automatically or by default, the address would be Davao City. So that's the work of this constructors here. No? So whatever you put right here will be assigned automatically by default to the values here. So it's all up to you what you're going to do with the constructor. So again, as we have discussed before, you can have like for your for like if I mean you can create a parameterized constructor to actually store a, like say when we are going to create a person, another person object, okay, say P2, and then you created here, let's say assume lang gi-input ning value, let's say Ben, okay. Of course, when you are going to display P2, okay, so P2, this would be a person for our, yan, wala na save. Okay, so let's run this one. So P2 would have Ben as a person name, while P1 will have Anna instead. So yun, no? We are now able to create information of this particular in our a particular sa atong program using this class. So anything na imutang nimo dre, again, it's all up to you. It's your discretion kung sa inyong ibutang dre. It's your prerogative kung sa inyong ibutang dre. If you want to, have here gender, okay, and then you have here person, gender, sorry, person, gender is equal to gender. Ayan. So, yan, that's it. And then you can add as many as data as you can. Let's say if you want to have here for your person address, so you have here or person age, something like this one. Okay, you have here int person age, and then you have here string first, let's say address. So di na natin ibutang ang person. Let's have here age, address, and then you have here string status. Okay, so all the way down here you can declare address, so person age equals age, and then you have your status equals status. Okay, so we have here person, status. So by the way, you can use this here. So di ba last time I have introduced to you the this. So if ever you have, let's say, person name, something like that. So yeah, person name. It would be best you use this na keyword, kasi the one thing that is going to be followed by your program will be the local variable instead of this one right here. So that is why if in any imuhang way to write a program, let's say pareha siya og attributes name or pareha sa name sa imong attribute with your parameter here. So might as well you use this. But if ever na you don't want to use like this keyword, you have the option to change this as like name. So para distinguish na makita niya unsay which one are you trying to refer, okay, or which particular variable you are actually trying to refer to be stored in this particular value. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this one. So again, you can have as many as methods or constructor as you can. It's all up to you if you are going to like continue more like if you have in to have individualized parang attributes, so na kay name, na po kay person niya string gender, and then na po kay person, then person address. It's all up to you again. So that's it. And then let's say we are going to call that person in the P3. Of course, the good thing about creating or calling the that particular, what we call this one, that particular class or that particular constructor would be, it allows us to store names here. So for an instance, you have here li chu non. Okay, you have here the gender, so let's say male, and then you have here the age, let's say 23, address, Compostela. Okay. And then you have status, nasaktan. Charot. Okay. So, and then if you guys want to create a or display the object or the value of person 3, you can just have here change to P3, and so on and so forth. So you want to display the name, the gender, the address of your person P3. All you just need to do is call the object P3 instead of P1 or P2. As easy as that. Simple, no? So there you are. You are actually able to display here the name, the tunon, gender, male, address, compostela, so on and so forth. So what does that tell you? This would tell us that your class right here, encapsulated class, it depends on how you actually create it. Okay, whether you as a uh, what they call this one, as a programmer who does it, the way you actually design your program, you can have like uh, at least no ang programmer or ang user na mo gamit sa imong program would have choices, either using only the default constructor or parameterized constructor with only one parameter, or I'm going to use the constructor with the parameters for all of the attributes assigned to my person. Or you have the option to make that user, no, kung kinsa may nagamit sa imong class, to just call the setters individually and call the getters individually. Okay? So, right here, pwede nimo ni siya like aside from naka-individual setters and individual getters, you can have here like set person. Okay? So, public void set person. Yan. So, when you're going to create, let's say, so this thing right here, public void set person, you have here let's say, another object of person. You can have here P4 equals new person. Okay? and then you can call p4 dot set person instead. So you don't have to now call this setter individually, because you can set the person's name. What do we have here? So let's check. So it's name, gender, age, address, and status. So you can actually do that, no? So, all right. So the same thing with, diba, sa J option pane, the same thing with uh, other uh, default methods, or katong mga methods that are belong to a class, na siya yung mga inani no na definition na makita nato unsa ang required na parameter niya. Okay, so let's say na, this is like male. Okay, and then we have here, let's say 16, and this is unsa ni siya, um you have here
Address.
address. Okay, so you have here address. Sa may address na sa Compostela? Kuan,
Bustila mo na sir.
nabunturan. Nabunturan. And then, inagawan. Charot, no? Inagawan. Kaluoy po. Okay? And then, you can have here, like, it's all up to you again what certain information you would like to display to your program. So, let's say person name, person gender, and person address lang for your P4. So, there, no? You're able to display that. Yeah, before we'll proceed, any question? Do you
Sir, yes,
follow?
sir.
Oh, yes po.
Kung mag-ilis ang driya sa isa lang sa sitters, sir. Dili isa ra pa may lisdan, sir.
What do you mean mag-ilis ko?
Lisdan ako ang name, sir. Name ra pa
Ni
malisdan niya, sir.
ni kinsa ni P1, P4. P4.
Ah,
Oo, si kuan ra pod na, at least 'di ba? Aside from kay 'di ba sa P4 ay 'di ba naman kay set person. So P1 can call set person, P2 can call set person, P3 can call set person. Then you're trying to ask na what if sir, let's say si P4 naka-set kog person siya lechuna, and then gusto na ko i-change like mag-set kog person sa iya ano sa iya name lang. So that's what you are asking, tama ba?
yes, sir.
Tapos ma-change ba iyang name? So from lechuna, let's say lechu lechonin. Oh, so lechonin na siya. Okay, it will be changed to, so from there, I mean, sige, kanila to iset a change or a display. Yes, ma-change ni mo na siya. From lechuna, it will become lechonin. So individual ano, so you can use individual setters for in your program person. Yan. So flexible siya no. Depende na sa bisan asa na imong, it depends on you kung asa imong tawagon. So what I'm trying to elaborate here is that your program has a lot of things to offer. Whether whether a user can just call set one individual setter, or shall call the set person method, which is mas kompleto na siya na mag-set og values sa tuang mga sa atong person. Okay, did I answer your question ano? Kinsa ba to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Sige. So, sir, can I also create like another like set person? Yes, of course, you can create that. Let's say you are going to only set person, uh, gender, name, and age. So, ayan. Okay, so you have here name, gender, and age. I have here two set persons. I can have set name, gender, age. So this is the same thing with like let me try G option pane that show input. So if you try to look at it, show input dialog. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is 6 input dialog, or there are 6 input dialog uh, objects or methods that can actually choose from. Either one parameter, two parameters, two parameters but different, what do you call this one? Different object or different parameters. I have here 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 parameters. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters. And then I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parameters. So here you can have, if let's say you call p4 set, or p1 ba, it's all up to you, p1 that set person. So I have here two set persons here, which is kaning duha lang ha, kaning first. Kasi kaning uban set person, other set person age. But this time here, I have here set person and set person, which has, the first one has only 3 parameters, while the other one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters. So that's it, no? So again, it's still all up to you kung inana imong gusto buhaton sa imong program. So no one is going to stop you from doing that. So you can also like create to, if pareha nimo sa J option pay na isa, na duha, na tulo, na upat, it's up to you, no? If you are going to create more of set person method, tapos lahi-lahi lang siya og parameters. Make sure lang na lahi og parameters sa, let's say naghimo ka in ani, but here nagbutang kag int, let's say val, still dili na siya pwede kasi ang basihan niya, it's not the names of your parameters but the data type of your parameters. Mawala na yun timan-an ha. Basta maghimo ka imog duha ka pangalan sa method here, make sure lang na lahi ang parameters. Okay? So, sir, pwede ba na int age, tapos I have here string, let's say name. Pwede na siya. Baliktad lang imuhang pagka-plus star sa imuhang variables. But what's the point? Na pareha lang man sila og ginakuha na data or gina-capture na data. So, this one is not necessary anymore. Okay? So, another one is, so since you have here like person name, but naman kay set person, gender, address, blah, 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 you can actually convert this into an object. So instead of person is equal to person name, you can actually do like set person name. So instead of person name, you can have set person name. Instead of set person gender, as person gender is equal to gender, you can have set person gender equals to gender. Wait, ato na ning tanggalon. So set person gender. So yan, no? You can either call the method itself, or you can have like this. It's up to you. Okay? So any will do. Bisan asa dira sa duha. So if you are going to ask me asa ang better, um, this one is better kasi it doesn't have to call the method, no? So meaning direct source siya na mag-assign of value. Okay? But if you're going to, let's say kanang sa iyaha asa ang mas medyo memory saving, this one kasi you don't have to create like assign person gender equals to gender, because you already assign this set person gender to assign the gender for your person. So parang you just call it here, and then yung set person gender siya na bahala sa iyang buhaton for that. So inana ang nahitabo. Okay? So you have set person, and then you can have also get person. So pwede pod ka maghimo og let's say public string get person. Ayan. And then you can return the values, let's say person name, You have person name plus person gender, okay, and then person age, person status, and then person ito pa. Okay, person status na lang ang last, and then person address din nila. Okay, person address. So you have here get person, which is a string. It returns the value. Pwede po ka mag void. So depende sa imuha. So if void na siya, for this one, since pareha siya, naglahi lang return type. Wait for a while. So you have here, let's say, let's just, so, butang natin ni persons na lang. Okay, or person info. Yan. Okay, you have here the person name. Yan. And then you can have here gender, age, address. This is status. Yan. And then you just have to, so you can call either person gender or pwede rin there you can have address here in our test person.
Loy, loy, loy. Loy. Loy, 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 loy. Malas eh. Aba, No, no.
Hello guys. Hello. Hello,
Hello, sir.
hello. Anong ganito?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Nalobat akong cellphone. So again, for everyone's knowledge, no, I'm just using data kasi medyo mas hinay pa ang amo ang naay-unli-cut sa fiber namo diri sa village because basta namo ko'y say tawag ana, nagkalot kani sa ni naigilubong na mga emburnal or something tapos naigo ang nag-fiber cut so medyo dili okay ang connection so that is why nag-data ra ko. So, so far okay naman ang connection, right? Okay
Yes,
akong
sir. Okay na, sir.
dili man sige, good.
Sir,
Sige,
okay na
alright,
sir.
let's continue. So, again, this is like, it's we are still no parang I mean we are still in encapsulating a class. So this is the thing that these are the things that you can actually do here. So again, dili na nako siya ano ha further unsa pa ano you can actually do I mean the things that we have done before. Pwede po niyo i-apply inyong program. Pwede nimo ni i-apply imong say tawag ani imong class. Let's say for an instance, nimo siyang array. Let's say 10 and then you have here, sorry, dili na yan, 10. So you have here, let's say 10. So right here, you just have to, P na lang na P1. Sinakay loop, no, to start with, let's say, instantiate nimo ang first index. So you have your new person as a person class. So pwede nimo tawagon person kaning with parameterized constructor. Okay? And then of course, pwede pod nimo tawagon ang P0 dot set person. So pwede nimo individual set person name, set person status, set person gender, age, address, and so on and so forth. And or you can actually use or call this set person with name, gender, age as parameters. So yeah, I hope you could imagine what the things that you can do now by having an encapsulated class and with the array, and it's actually making it like a what they call this one, a powerful program, because you are actually able to create a method, no, method based programming now. So you have here, let's say, male, and then 12, and then something like this is um agum, sige, and this is, let's say, single. So and then if you guys want to display this, just have to call p0 that get let's say it depends sa imo kung imong get person info ba imong tawagon. Okay? And then, oh yeah, ang get person info kay void man I know. So meaning to say you don't have to put it in a system that out that print line. So when you run this, you will have this one. So of course you have the option to either call the say p0 dot get person, katong person lang, which is this one. So you must put this one in a system that out that print line. So there. So as upon running this, you will have yan. Okay. So that's the advantage of encapsulating a class and with the methods. Okay. And you can actually explore things right here. You can, as long as you know how to create a method, you can do whatever you want to do here and then implement it in a class. Okay? So imagine what you can do with this. Kung naa kay menu na mag-add kag person, so remember, you'll just have to change this to something like na kay index. So let's say I is equal to 0, and then kaning I nimo is mag-increment by 1. So until maabot siya og 10. So you can apply those na you can apply those things that we have discussed before. So this one right here is if i-continue nato ni this would be really become powerful. But that is not what we are going to do right now. Okay? So I just hope inyuha na siyang na-imagine for now na pwede niyo ni mabuhat. Okay? So buhatan lang man yun menu, no? So I don't know if nabatay inana na do we have it here? Let's see, mangita ta ha, katong pet management system ang to. O, murag inani ba? Inanion niyo siya. Okay, na mo menu, na mo choice, na mo ani and all things right here, and then using index. So instead of katong person kani siya mag-string individual mo input for name, gender, age, input blah blah blah. You don't have to do that. The only thing you will do is isa na lang ka declaration. Okay? Which is isa na lang ka declaration, and then imutang niyo ni siya as sige, i-try na lang nato para ma-appreciate ninyo or para makita ninyo. Okay, let's try copy paste this one to the test person. Okay? So, oops. Para ma-appreciate ninyo, para di po mo mag-imagine lang. Sige, i-change lang na to ang name instead na pet management system. Let's change this to test person. Okay, so this is test person. Ka-remember pa ba mo, ane? For sure, no?
Yes, sir.
Ka-remember pa mo, ane, no? Okay, good. So instead of mag-add tag person, you can have add pet, of course, view pet na ta, no? View person. Okay, and then you have here person, per person, i-type na lang din nato. Find pet, so replace with person. Okay, replace all na to. Yun. Okay, so now, instead of this is what you will do, okay, what you will do for now is you will just declare a person. So person, let's say P, then uh, this will be in an array. Okay, let's say we have here max capacity natin is by 5 muna. Okay, and then we're still gonna be using this value, this para ning kanina mga variables, but dili na nimo ni siya gamiton as an array. So this is just for intended for mga ilang tag inputs from our user, no? Integer and the NCH. Okay, there. And then, sorry, tanggalon natin yung age input. You have the gender, address, and then you have the status. Okay, so all you need to do now is change this one into name. Okay, so this will be gender na lang. Okay. Okay, for now, let's stick to J option pane, show input dialog, but later on, if humanta aning inheritance and OP mag J frame man ta. So we have here age. This is for dapat katong integer dot parse and integer dot parse int. Okay, and then so medyo daghan og buhat to i-edit, no? So anyway, ato na ning tanggalon. Yan, so there, no, nanay I++. So mo nang mag-increment sa atong array to the max. Yan. Okay, and then after that, so this is now you, since kulang pa dahil ni, gender, napatay address, and status. So address, and then this is like status. So this is address, this is like status. Okay, after that, you have to call P Okay, let's say P0, so PI, sorry, is equal to new person. Okay, so this is now the encapsulated class. Kani. So, pwede nimo tawagon directly pwede nimo store ang name, gender, age, address, and status. You can do like this. Or pwede nimo siya PI at set person. So, that is the perks now of having katong isa ay set person. Yeah, so this is the perk now of having different ways or different parang having completed your encapsulated class into whatever it will whatever the user is going to choose, no, parang different options, different of options the user may choose from. So pwede siya via constructor, pwede po siya katong set person, set person like this one. So either kaning constructor or set person. So as you can see here, I as a user also, I have the option to either this one. So kamo, as it's all up to you asa inyong i-follow dira. Pero ang pinaka the best is of course, you will follow so pwede niya, pero you will need to do this. Kailangan ma-instantiate nimo imuhang uh, class dyan. Kasi kani kani this is instantiation for array object. Okay? Kani siya instantiation for each array in a for each array as a sa may tama na grammar, instantiation for each array as a person. Ayan. So kailangan nimo na siya. Okay, pero kung imong tawagon ning P1 is PI new person, you don't have to do that kasi this one is already instantiating it. Just in case lang na imong tawagon set person name. So you can now have like, all right, for this one here. So instead of the good thing about having this encapsulated class, so you have here the address, no? So backslash theta and then address and then backslash t status. So what you will do is pwede ka mag-individual setter, let's say px dot get person name. But I don't have to do that. Just in case kung ana imong gusto buhaton, it's up to you. But since naa naman set get person, actually, you can automatically call it directly. Yan. So there, no? Instead of individual pa. Remember, unsa ning get person is kaning get person, it returns the value, name, gender, age, address, and status. So, yan. And then let's comment out na lang this search muna. So, okay. I-comment out sa nato ni mga search. All the way down here. Okay, and then apilan nato na si search. Okay, and then this is end of main. Ano itong main? Okay. Sobra? Is it? Okay. Kasi na-appeal ang switch. Wait. So, dapat dili lang taman. Okay. So, there. So, yan. Ang gibuhat nato is nag-instantiate taog instantiate taog person. Okay? And then right here, nagay lang tag input from the user and then we store it to our array by calling the method set person name. So which is mag-store na siya name, gender, age, address, status, and then i-display nato siya dire. And then Yeah, so notice that you don't have to have an individual array for name, gender, address, and status and age so that makastore kag values sa imuhang person, of course. So all you just need to do is, ano lang ka, call lang ka. Let's say, Lee, male, 12, address, tagong, sa mani, single. Yan. Okay, and then view person. Okay, wala lang tay backslash n. Asa tong backslash n? Kulang atong backslash n. Anyway, sige, Kyle, male, in DC, married. View person. So, ayan. There. So, that's something na what you can do out of creating an encapsulated class with the with array, of course. Okay, so there, no. But that is not our focus now. Our focus here is the uh, another principles of OOP. So since we have already encapsulated a person, okay, I have just shown you earlier kung saan ni siya pag-implement into like mag-create kag program. But ang focus nato here would be creating after encapsulating a class, what to do next? Mag-stop na ba siya from encapsulating a class and then maghimo ta og himo tag implementation of a program? Of course, we don't stop from there. Kailangan makahibalo ta og other techniques in other principles of OOP, which is inheritance and polymorphism. Actually, nanay part na polymorphism, pero later na ako siya i-discuss, unaho sa natong inheritance. So as long as you know how to encapsulate a class, it will be easier for you to understand inheritance and polymorphism. Why? Because the best way to actually learn inheritance is just going to do as simple as this, no? Just put here extends, apa ba ko? Ayan. So, extends, tapos person, okay? So, what you have right here is the student means that, or the student, this statement right here is going to tell our compiler that student is a child of a person parent. So si person is a parent, si student is a child. Other term for this one sa uban na books kay this is a subclass, this is a superclass. So partner na siya, no? Pag child imong gamiton, then the other one will be parent. Pag subclass imong gamiton, the other one will be superclass. Okay? Pag imong anohon ana imong gamiton will be derived class. So the other derived. So ang parent ana would be base class. Yan. So these are the three terms na inyong i-remember. Child, if you're going to use child, then parent ang iyang kani. So subclass. So child, subclass, derived are all the same. Parent, superclass, and base class are all the same. So yan. So student is a child while person is a parent. Meaning to say, anything that you have or you can see in the person is also can be seen or can be used by student, especially if it is declared as public. Okay, so how is that possible, sir? Like for an instance, without actually creating or without, I have just here defined or stated extends to person, I can actually automatically call here set person. Okay, see? I can actually call here set person. Set person name, set address, set age, set gender, set name. And the good thing about this one is that whenever I'm going to create like test student, okay, tawa ha, I haven't declared any more. Hello? Hello? Are you still there? Madunggan pa ko?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, what do you have in the person are all the yan mga methods sa student. Unsay naa sa student na to? Naay gibutang na ako gibutang rin sa student wala.
Wala.
Wala. Okay? Now, maghimo kog isa ka class na i-test na akong student. Wala ko gibutang sa student ha, but I have here created an extends person. Okay? So this would mean na unsa daw tong nakay person naapod kay student. So i-prove na ko na siya. Student S1 equals new student. So right here, S1 dot, pwede na ko matawag ang set. Yan, set person, set person, set person, because student is actually a person. There is a relationship created, and that relationship is called is a relationship. So student is a person. Therefore, kung may mag-create ko S1 as an object of student, and student is actually a child of person na dire, therefore, I can call whatever is in the person. So, pwede na ko tawagon ang mga naa kay person. Right? For instance, I can set a person's record. Pero, yan. Siyempre, the only thing here that is probably if, I mean, dili man siya noon problematic, but the only thing here na inyuhang siguro mano is set person. Sir, gusto na ko siya student instead of set person. So of course, that's the time na you will you will inherit the person here, the property of set person here, and make it like yours. So mag-edit na ka, i-edit na nimo siya. Pero if you are going to stick with that na set person lang, you can do that, no? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So in fact, kung ato na siyang i-display dire, let's say, so we have here si Takong, okay, and then 12, and then I have here um, Mawab, okay, and then iniwan yang status, okay. So let's say I'm going to call S1 that get person info. Remember ha, this set person and get person info methods are in the person. But since you created a relationship between student and the person, you are able to actually call it. Though, dili na nimo makita na si S1 pala is actually calling, it's actually a child of person. Pero makita nimo na siya directly here when you actually create or call the class, you have here void person. Yan. So, dili mo na siya makita, no? Void person. So, meaning, these ones are not originally from the student class. It's actually from person class. However, you can make use of this. You can take advantage of that. Meaning to say, kung sa Bisaya pa or laktod na pagkastorya sa tao pa ni, kung ikaw anak sa imong mama o imong mama na ay Tupperware, so kanang Tupperware sa imong mama pwede nimo magamit, tama ko dili?
Yes, sir.
Oh, pero depende sa mama nga strikta, no? Kay na ita pero strikta ning mama basta Tupperware is gutan. Dili ipagamit ang Tupperware kadtong mga other plasticwares ang ipagamit ng bratohon. Pero kung Tupperware gani na sa mga mama, ulit kay nag-Tupperware. Ka-relate ba mo? Kasi akong mama mo daw parent is really into Tupperware collection. So, I don't know if inaana ba yung parents. But what I'm trying to say here is that if imong parent na ay tindahan, imong parent na ay farm, imong parent na ay basta unsa to mga butang na i-allow nila na igamit nimo or most likely magamit jud to nimo. Even though you're not actually explicitly like something puti wala ka nagbutang there o anything. So let's say tanggalon na ko ning extend persona, and then I don't have now the the chance, no, to use those in the person. Kasi I'm not the child of my parents anymore. So kasi
Sir, putol-putol good. Sir, nawala na po ka.
dili na kanak sa imong mama or
Hello?
papa.
Hello, hello, hello?
Sir, putol-putol good ka, sir.
So the only way Hello? Okay na? Hello, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Asa gyud dapit kung anak mo sa imong mama ko
Extend. Oh. Let's
so
extend.
nakuha to ninyo? So again, recall na ko ha. So the person is a parent of student na child. If I'm going to remove this one, I am no longer allowed to. So if I'm going to remove this extend thing, I am no longer allowed to call whatever is in the person. So again, if you're a child of your parents, meaning to say kung unsa ang kayamanan sa imong parents, it could be inherited by yours, no? Ma-inherit lang to nimo siya if gusto ipa-inherit sa imong parents. So what do you mean, sir? Naay instances na let's say imong parent naman joy chances no na ang parents nato dili ipa-inherit sa atoa. Example lang. So I have here the person and then the student and then extends person. So almost all na inherit ni student si person except for kani siya. Of course, naka-private siya. Example lang ha, they have here get person info. I'm going to make this or declare this as private. Okay? So instead of public na, i-declare na ko siya as private. So I'm still am I going to ma-access pa na ko na si person, no, not this one. Get person info day dapat. Get person info. Ayan. So, as you can see, I am no longer allowed to access that one. Though it's like it's in a real world pa. Kumbaga, if these are your parents properties, kung ano yung properties sa imong parents and uh, almost all ma-inherit nimo except for one which is kaning private void get person info. Let's say na daw na siya i-ala something i-ano niya ni for someone or I don't know basta dili sa inyo ha. So pwede na niya i-private and that would mean na dili na nimo na siya matawag. No? So regardless of bisan anak pa ka sa imong parents. Do you follow? Nakuha ninyo class?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, good. So it's as simple as that. So inana lang ang idea sa inheritance. And it makes our class becomes powerful. Why? Because you don't have to create your own class. Okay? Yeah, I mean you will create your own class, but if this class are actually are already existing and you want to make that to copy the properties of this class, you can actually do that. But for now, since you just want to, what's the point of nag-inherit ka ani na mga class? Okay? Or nag-inherit si student ani na person kung wala naman day kay buhaton na wala naman day kay usbon na like wala man day na unique na property si student. Of course, naa dapat. Okay? So, example dili sa ta magbutang og unique property sa student. Example lang, I don't since nag-student S1 equals new student ko and then I have here set person info and I don't want this na maging set person gyapon siya get person info. I want this na maging student na. Okay? Kaya syempre, I make use or I took advantage of person and then instead of person gyapon siya, himuon nako siyang student. Okay? So, that's what you will do. Okay? So, example, I am going to inherit that person. So, here, set student, set student. Pihon na lang nako ha. Actually, pwede na ninyo na idiretso. So, set person here. Ayan. So, don't mind that muna. And then, I have here, instead of set person, diri akong ibutang set student. Okay? So, we have here, set student. But, you just have to call set person. So, what do you mean by super? Super means your parent, meaning this is the object. Kung remember mo atong this na keyword. So, ang this keyword refers to the object of a class. So, super naman, a super keyword, this refers to, this refers to a, sorry, keyword. This refers to a parents object. So, kung parents object siya, therefore, kinsa ning object si super kay person. Okay? Nakuha? So, right here, gi-inherit nako si set person. I don't want to inherit this. Mali niya akong na-inherit. Katong isa ka person akong inherit kay kani. Okay? Remove sa nako na. Pwede na i-remove. Right? So I'm going to inherit this set person here, and then instead of i-follow na ko ang name niya na person, I'm going to make it my own. So mura na siya. Let's say na-inherit nimo ang store sa imong parents. It doesn't mean na kung ang store sa imong parents kay mga feeds na maligya kag feeds, dili na ka kung na-inherit na nimo na sa imong parents, dili na ka always lang na feeds, pwede nimo na i-upgrade. Like for an instance, ang name dati is let's say for an instance na ay imong parents na ay beach. Okay? So na beach imong parents kay adunahan. So na kay beach, na inherit nimo ng beach sa imong parents. So ang let's say ang pangalan sa beach ay Yahay Beach Resort. Tapos karon gi-inherit na nimo to na beach, ikaw na ang sa Bisaya pa magdumala, no? Kumbaga, it is inherited by yours, and it doesn't mean na kung sa to'y pangalan mao na to always. You can upgrade it. Okay? Start with the name. So pwede nimo na i-upgrade nimo ang name sa beach gikan sa Hayahay Beach to Son of the Beach Resort. It's not the okay, ayaw mo ka green ha. Son of the beach, beach ha, dili beach na. Son of the Beach Resort. So, let's say for an instance lang, ang pangalan sa imong beach karon kay Son of the Beach Resort. So, this time, gi-upgrade nimo into something ang imong beach resort na magi-catchy siya para it would attract the terrorist, the tourist. So, you can do something like that. So, what the same way we did here, you have here public void, instead na set person ang makita na niya, set student na. Pero, you just took advantage of katong inherited, which is from person, by calling super. Okay, sir, pwede ba walay super? Yes, pwede ra na walay super. Pero mas okay kung naay super because this would indicate that this person is actually a parent, an object, method of your, or a property of your parent. So right here, going back here, instead of person na ni, you can now, okay, dili ka po na mag-error, but it would be better if you use your own method. So mas okay na siya, no? Kasi this is like student and you're working actually a student, and then it should be student. The methods here that you can call should be or must be like related to student. Though wala may problem sa person info kasi student is still a person, but it would be better if that is declared as like whatever is the you are going to manage as an entity or kaning student man. So set student. Di ba mas okay siya kaysa ganina? Do you follow? Class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So you can also the same for get person info. So pwede ni mo na buhaton sa set person info, get person info, and then you have your get, let's say, instead of person info, student info imong buhaton. But if you are just calling like mutawag lang kag set person, let's say set person name, but wala kay gi-change, you don't need to do that. Okay? Ayaw na tawaga. It's because you can actually directly call set person. If you don't if you're not going to change or modify or alter this set person thing here in your class, then you don't have to call it here. Kasi nga, pwede na nimo na siya matawag your to your class as long as there is connection between student and person. So you will only call, okay, I would suggest you will only call or inherit the property of the other class if naa kay gusto na buhaton na changes for that class. Though ang gibuhat nato na changes for this for this method is only name, but at least if you try to look at it, medyo okay, medyo dili na siya confusing because you're dealing with student and the methods that you are calling here are actually set student. Though, syempre, you cannot get rid of those na still, no? Matawag yapon to nimo si set person. However, at least kung mayon kag set student, that is belong to student class, not the person class. Okay? So, nakuha class? Okay?
Sir.
Good, very good, very good, very good. Okay, now to complete or to conclude inheritance. So what are the properties of the student that are not in person? So meaning to say, for sure, that's why naghimo kag student because you believe so na dili tanan person naa kay student na property. So unsa may naa kay student na property na dili tanan or common sa person. So you know and believe na ang common sa person kay name, gender, address, status and age. Common na siya with all the students. However, how do we know na student siya na dili because there is unique property of this class that are not common to all persons. So unsa man ang mga properties that you can think of that is unique to student?
ID.
Very good. Because not all person has ID and only a student must or will have ID. So pwede nimo string, it's all up to you no kung integer ba nimo kamo depende sa inyong design. So let's say it's string ID lang ta, okay? So private string ID, what else? Unsa pa may unique niya? Na dili tanan na kay person. Kasi
Cellphone
dili
number.
meaning pardon?
Cellphone number, sir. Number sa cellphone.
Mm, pwede, pero yes, kasi dili tanan person na ay cellphone number, pero tanan student ba na ay cellphone number?
Pwede ra po.
Pwede ra pod wala, no? Unsa jud to kanang kailangan jud na need jud na naa siya as a student. So let's say si college student atong istoryahan dire, unsa may naa kay na matawag nato siya as college student? Naa siya
Course.
very good
Course.
course. Okay, naa siya course, unsa pa? Naa siya tuition, di ba? Tama
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Naa siya tuition, naa siya year. Okay? So these things na dili common. So pag moingon ta og student, these are just some, no? Some lang ni. These are just some of the properties of a student that makes it as like unique as a student na dili tanan na kay person kasi kung ibutang nato ni siya didto kang person like person ay course dire. Example lang, butangan natong course dire. Butangan po natong tuition dire. Example lang ha. Now, what if na ay another class na mo inherit ani like mo inherit mo inherit si employee, mo inherit si I don't know else no kung sa pay kinsa pay mo inherit ani. So not all persons has courses and tuition. So therefore, it would be safe na kung unsa lang tong common sa tanan persons mao lang to ang imong ibutang dira. And unsa unique na naa sa imuhang sa kanina class will be declared here or must be declared here. Kasi if the case is wala unique jud ka na makita for this class, ayaw na pag-inherit. There's no need to create a class anymore. Kasi wala may unique. You don't have something na mabutang as unique, then therefore you don't need to create a class. Kasi why not use automatic na lang na person unless ang imong gusto lang is katong naa kay person imo lang ipang change ang methods, that could do. No, I mean that could be one of the things na pwede nimo buhaton. But I would suggest is kung dapat na a unique na property kadto, that's the time na we will create another class and then inherit that person. So meaning i-extend mo na siya. So now the relationship is that student is a person but not all persons has ID, course, tuition, and year because that's the only thing that is seen or common to students. So right here, maghimo na ka og pwede na ka diri maghimo og mga uh, setters for your student like set ID, no? Get ID. Ayan. So, get ID. Ayan. So, set course. Kasi wala man ni dito kay person. So, kailangan nimo maghimo og setters diri. No? Set tuition. So, kani ang tuition na to kay input lang sa. So, of course, this will be based on pila ka subjects na i-enroll nimo. Wala man tay transactions for now. I mean, basic pa man lang natong gihimo na relationship for the classes. And then what else do we have here? So, we have set year, get tuition, okay, and then set year. And there's a lot of things that you can do in every class, no? So get year. Example, so mao na ang mga properties na naa kay student na of course dili nimo ni ma-declare dito kay person kasi unique lang ni siya diri kay student. So of course, pwede ka na magdungag diri sa imuhang set student, no? So example lang maghimo kag dungagan nimo ni siya diri og ID, okay? So string ID, ayan. And then name, gender, tapos dungagan nimo course, okay? And then year. Saan pa tong year na to? Sample lang, dungagan nimo ang year in year. So it's up to you kung dungagan nimo na and then make sure lang na dapat, okay, you will have here another na mag-set sa iyahag value. So let's say sa course or this that course equals course. And then this that year equals year. All right? Of course, mag-error ni imong program diri because this would require IDs now. So nana na siya dapat ID. Okay, so let's say 101. Yan. So unsa pa to gidungag nato yang course say BS BSIT and BSIR naman. And then let's say first or something first year or second year. Ayan. All right? So after that, so since imong get student info, if i-run nimo ni siya, imong get student info is only giving you unsa tong nasa imong gets student info. Of course, mo lang po mo display, no? Wala siya ID, walay course. So it's up to you kung dungagan nimo na. You can have here like let's say ID. Okay? I mean, pwede nimo na siya dungagan. Anything unsa ganining set get person info display man ni, no? So dungagan nimo na siya og kay void man dai ni. So you can have here something like ID and then ID. And then if magdungag ka, have here course and then year, and then you'll have here year and then course. Ay, baliktad. Course and then you have here year. All right, so that is why if you're going to run this one, you will have here the course and the year. So that makes student now as a powerful class because you can set the basic info of what makes a student plus what is unique with the student as a property. Okay, so that is the power of inheritance. Okay, and there, we are going to do more and explore more on inheritance in the succeeding in the next, probably in the next week. Okay, so any questions so far before I will proceed with the next principle of OOP? Time check, it's already 3:17. So, allow me to, before ko mag, unsa na? Naabay question? Wala.
Wala,
Kini
sir.
sir.
Are you sure? Wala jud? Sige. So nakuha ha. So if ever man na wala niyo nakuha i-share man ako ning video, and actually naapod ko yung mga tutorials in this no sa Google Classroom. So dito mas na-explain jud to siya tarong kasi kani dire free will lang man no. I mean, not all the things na nakabutang dito is ma-discuss na ako here, but this is just supplement to supplement only the learning that I have, the learning, parang learning na pwede nyo ma-learn. So, pwede nyo ma-learn with, basta, or vice versa. No? Not all things na na-discuss na ako dito sa katong gihimo na ako na document that I made it for you, and then also with during our synchronous session. So, I just hope na appreciate ninyo na, no? I'm actually giving you different materials, no? So, naatay katong mga natay katong tutorial dito, document, i-follow lang to ninyo as well as naapod tay synchronous session, no? Session, okay? So synchronous session nato would be this one, which is free will, no? Anything na pwede na ako ma-discuss. But of course, pattern gyapon sa unsa dapat ang discussion on this particular na topic. So now, allow me to continue with my discussion. So that is the inheritance. It with from the encapsulated class person, and then we decided to inherit that class because we know na instead of declaring again name, gender, address, status in this particular class, why not took advantage of that from that class already, kay na naman siya dito, and then declare only those that are unique. Okay, and then of course do or create a property of those that are unique, and then probably upgrade the method, no, the existing method from your parent. But again, you can do whatever you would like to do here, no? So it's all up to you kung unsa imong buhaton ani. It doesn't mean na kung sa akong gibuhat diri mao pod imong buhaton dira, and you can actually inherit properties here. It depends on your idea, or it depends on what you would like to achieve. All right, now the last the last principle is polymorphism. So when we talk about polymorphism is, so gikan ta sa encapsulation, review na to. So encapsulation. Oh, sorry. So encapsulation is a template for creating data privacy, which invokes data privacy, no? For creating a creating or implementing data privacy, okay, or security, okay, right? So that's encapsulation. So next is inheritance. So inheritance, creating relationship between each or among classes lang. Relationship among classes. So just like atong gibuhat, student and person. Okay? So again, if you want to explore more, pwede na pud ka maghimo og employee. So let's say may kag employee, unsa may unique property nga naay ka employee nga wala kay person. Kasi si student o si employee lahi man pud siya. So unsa man po unique ni employee kung maghimo tag another class. Just like for an instance, ay, butan na to. Unsa may other unique property nga naa ka employee na wala ka student o wala kay person.
Sweldo.
Very good, no? So, asa nato ni siya i-inherit? Sa person or sa student?
Sa
Person.
employee.
Okay. Sa
Sa
person,
person
okay?
dai.
Very good. Si employee pwede na to inherit sa student pero mas okay na ma-inherit niya si person. So by the way, ang tawag na to ani na relationship is hierarchical relationship, no? So natay ginatawag na multi-level relationship, naputay ginatawag na many to many relationship, and then we also have ano, single inheritance. By the way, ang tawag nato aning student and person, nakalimot jud ay ko. Student and person relationship is what we call single inheritance. Okay, single inheritance. Tawag na to ani. Okay? So kung mag-inherit ta kang employee extends person, okay, nya ingon mo si employee kay naay sweldo, tama? Okay, unique na siya. Dili tanan student na ay sweldo, depende kung working siya. Dili po tanan person na ay sweldo kasi depende kung tambay siya. Okay? So therefore, ang employee na ay uh, salary, without salary. Okay? Napod siya yung mga deductions, no? Statutory deductions. Depende sa unsay na asa niya. So, mga deductions or SSS, yan. SSS deduction, rather, yan. Deduction, yahang SSS number, okay? Yan, and the likes, no? Mga statutory deductions. So, string, SSS, number. Yan, so you can further do whatever unsay mga unique kabalo na mo ana. So, this is also what we call single relationship. Yeah, single or same, no? So, single inheritance or single relationship. Kasi, directly si employee to person and student to person. Now, if I'm going to create another relationship, let's say, butang ko diri og part-time. Part-time, let's say part-time employee. And then i-extend na ko ni si part-time employee didto kay dili siya kay person, extends na ko siya didto kay employee. So this is what we call multi-level relationship or multi-level inheritance. Okay, so multi-level inheritance ang tawag nato ana because si person is a parent of employee, okay? And si employee is parent of part-time employee. So because part-time employee is an employee and employee is a person, so pinakamama si person, the next employee, the next part-time employee. That's what we call multi-level inheritance. All right? So that is multi-level inheritance. Now, kung part-time employee extends employee and then at the same time, si employee will have another, let's say another regular employee. Regular employee, okay, going to, kung nag-inherit siya sa employee again, so kung si regular employee kay nag-extend siya employee, wait. So now, from multi-level, yes, it is multi-level, but this would now become hierarchical inheritance. Kasi ang nahitabo is that si regular employee o si regular part-time, nag-inherit siya sa employee and si employee nag-inherit kay person. So both regular employee and part-time employee are children of employee class nga si employee class nag-inherit kay person. We call it now as hierarchical inheritance. Klaro?
Yes,
Kuha
sir.
class? Okay, good. Now, there is another one, we call it like uh, hybrid, na po tayo ginatawag na hybrid inheritance, combination na siya of hierarchical and multi-level. The other inheritance is multiple inheritance. But, okay, ako ibutang diri ha, multiple inheritance. So, unsa ang multiple inheritance, sir? If, okay, if si employee, okay, part-time employee extends, tapos ni extends po siya kang person, okay? And then ni extend po siya kay student. Ang tawag na to ana niya multi or multiple inheritance. However, okay, however, it is not allowed in Java. Okay? So it is only allowed in C++, C, uh, C Sharp, .NET, VB, and most programming languages, ano siya, allowed, but in Java, it is not allowed. So you cannot do multiple inheritance. So it is not allowed in Java. Pero pwede sa other language. Kasi ang Java, naa siya'y, kung say tawag ana, naa siya'y gina-maintain na uh, virtue siguro, no? Virtue ba ang tawag na to na? Pero ang gusto ni Java is only one-to-one relationship. Dili siya pwede na one-to-many relationship or one-to-one relationship. Dili siya pwede many-to-many relationship. Kasi kung imagine, daghan ka o correlation, what will happen to you? Unsa ka? Unsay tawag sa imo kung daghan ka
Ako
relationship?
kayo.
Gwapo kay ka, bigaon jud ka, no? Bigaon or unsa ba tawag nato sa, pero it's though naay mga ana, but for like 'di ba sa mga Muslims, pwede, tama? No?
Yes,
Pwede,
sir.
no? Pwede sa Muslims. Okay, so we respect that. Okay? Sa other, I don't know kung sa other mga tribe, basin, yeah, basin pwede po, pero sa normal na like sa Christians, dili siya pwede, no? Dili allowed. So mo na gi-apply ni Java, no? Not allowed ang multiple inheritance. Kasi ang problem with having multiple parents, mura ko na siya ginani. Like ikaw ha, example lang. Tagata mo scenario, ikaw na kay like five parents. Let's say wala kay biological parents, pero na kay five ka parents. Is it pwede ba na kay five ka parents like mga guardians? Is it allowed? Like pwede ba? Pwede naman, 'di ba? 'Di ba in some cases na inana na
Yes,
isa ka
sir.
na,
Pero sa
anak.
naman.
Oh, oh yes, na kay mga tuan ba like mga lola, lolo na puro na sila ano nimo. Like example lang ha, inana lang na kay lima ka let's say ha, imagine lang tulo ka parents. O ikaw, ikaw lang isa tapos na kay tulo ka parents. So first parent would tell you na okay, you go to class, get good grades, so dapat tarong ka sa imong eskwela, no? And then mangita kag maayong trabaho afterwards. So that's the parent one. Okay? Then ayo sa pag-uyab-uyab. Okay? So parent 2, moingon ng parent 2, just kuan, okay lang dili good grades. Okay, as long as makapasar ka, and then after that maghimo ka og negosyo. Okay? Isa ka parent moingon na mm, okay, go to class, go to ano pag-eskwela. Okay, ay lang pabayai mo eskwela la panguyab og daghan bisan unsa bisan pag party pero ayaw lang jud pabuntis o ayaw lang jud pagbuntis, no? Inana ba? So unsay traits imong i-follow after having said or having this heard from your parents? So of course malibog ka, tama? Malibog ba? Ma-confuse ba ka with that hearing those
Salibog
ano,
gyud.
Set.
malibog jud ka. So that's the idea of sa Java. Medyo I have experienced this in C++ kasi pwede siya kasi allowed siya na maka-inherit ka og mga different parents nimo. I mean daghan kay kag parents, and then malibog na kaasa ni dapit na asa na ni dapit na method, asa na dapit ni na property nga na class. Okay? Especially pag daghan na jud kay kag inherit, medyo confusing na siya in the future. Okay? So mo na gina-prevent ni Java from na maging na i-avoid or gina-prevent ni Java from happening to us as a programmers. So ang disadvantage lang is, syempre, I mean, ang advantage lang with having multiple parents is, dagat na po siya advantage. For an instance, kung both parents are really wealthy, no, or let's say imong three parents like lahi sila og properties, ang isa na ay plantation sa banana, ang isa na ay mga fish pen, ang isa na ay magic power, no? So of course you can inherit all those na mga nasa imong parents, no? So that's the advantage lang pod kasi you will become really powerful. Okay? I mean daghan kag pwede na ma-inherit from them. So only if like that, no? So again, regardless of inana man, but Java stands with uh, dili sila nag-allow og multiple inheritance. However, I would tell you this, that there is a way who Java does this. Okay? So, si Java, nangatik lang yun na siya. Nga, dili allowed mag-inheritance. Pero, pwede pa ka magka-create og relationships to multiple parents. Pero this time, dili siya classes. So, I'm going to discuss that one to you next time around. Okay? So, I'm not saying na nangatik si Java, but it seems like that gyapon, no? Kumbaga, giwala lang yang multiple inheritance, dili ka pwede maka-extends, okay, to multiple parents, pero pwede na to siya naa gyapon na sa Java na maka-inherit ka og mga multiple relationships or multiple parents, pero dili na siya inheritance, tawag na to na interface. I'm going to discuss that one to you in the next or succeeding weeks. So pero ang I mean sa karon ang focus na nato is kaning tulo ka pre-OOP principles. So now I'm now down to the third principle, which is the third principle is polymorphism. So polymorphism. Poly means many. Okay. Morph means forms. So, if i-relate na to, ability of a class to have many forms. So, daghan og forms si class. Daghan siya og, di ba ako na na-discuss last time, pag yung tag electric fan, naatay wall fan, naatay stand fan, naatay ceiling fan, naatay sa panang fan kanang sa pangkamot lang kanang sa no, di ba daghan kay mga fan yan, electric fan, a fan bitaw. So this is what we call polymorphisms, but they are all called fan. Okay, so asa dapit ang polymorphism now? Okay, so actually polymorphism can occur to encapsulation and inheritance. Actually, nabuhat na nato ni si polymorphism. However, wala lang sa ako nagsaba nga polymorphism na to siya. Let's go back to person. Okay? So, wait sa. Ang polymorphism, nanay duha ka property. So, two properties. So, first property is method overloading. Okay? So, the other one is method overriding in tandem. Joke lang. So, method overriding and overloading. Pag may tag overloading, same same name but different behavior. Okay? So kambal sila, no? Kambal sila pero lahi sila og behavior. As simple as that, no? Pareha jud sila exactly og naong pero lahi sila og behavior. So, or pasabot nato ng behavior, lahi sila og signature. Okay, lahi sila og so later on ato na ano. And then we other books calls it as like compile time polymorphism. Okay? So, ang method overloading kay same name, same name, same name, same behavior. Okay? So, same name, same behavior, and this can only be done kung naay inheritance. Okay? So, kani siya, ako na yung walaon ang, by the way, behavior or signature. Ayan. And then, pag moingon ta og overloading, this can be done sa class nga gi-encapsulate nimo. Okay? So ang overloading can be done during encapsulation. Ang overriding can be done through if naay inheritance. Ang tawag nato ani saya is runtime polymorphism. Okay. So now let's go head to our person. Okay, same name, different behavior. Person, 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 same name, same name, same name, but they all have different behaviors. We call this as constructor overloading. Therefore, this is polymorphism. Okay? All right. Now, how about this one? Set person, lahig behavior. So, same name, different behavior. This is method overloading. We call this as polymorphism. So, see, nanatay ana ang polymorphism. Wala lang sa nako ano sa inyo para dili kayo ma-overloading ang information. O yan, no? So, overloading. Same name, different behavior. Sa kalahi behavior, anak, sir? Okay, lahi ni siya behavior kasi daghan siya og parameters while this one tulo lang iyang parameters. Okay? And that's for method overloading. Now, asa si overriding, sir? Okay. Si overriding can be done through inheritance. So, pag naagani inani, okay, kanina na nakabutang at overriding. Example mag-override ko or magtawag ko set person. Yan, set person, let's say this one. Ayan. Override, no? Nanaw? Override. So, every time magtawag ka og class, ay method, sa imuhang parent class, okay? Which is, kay nag-inherit ka ato na parent, automatically, we call it as overriding or method overriding. Okay? So this one is an example of method overriding. So say pasabot ana, same name. Okay? So asang behavior ana sir, same name. Okay, pareha siyang pangalan sa set person. Atuon nato diri sa person. Set person, set person. So same name na siya. At the same time, same behavior. So meaning, tulo iyahang parameters. Sa person pod, you have here 3 parameters. So that's what we called overriding. It can be done pag naay inheritance. Dili na siya allowed kung wala kay inheritance. Again, you cannot override pag wala inheritance. Mag-error na siya. Okay? So in fact, makibala nimo na kung naay super. Normally naay super na mga keywords. Pero na instances na walay super, example lang, wala kung nagbutag super diri sa ako ang set person. So, ayan. So, you won't know, but kung mapansin mo, asa man ang set person, this is not actually from, originally from here. This is from student. This is from person rather. So, therefore, okay. So, therefore, what is this? This is overriding. It is from other class. Okay? So, ang tawag nato ana siya overriding. So, asa may mga overriding dire? Dara. Ani, mao ni overriding. Riding. Okay? Kani, overriding. Yan. So, this is the part of me I don't want it. Ito, polymorphism. And again, this is polymorphism. Now, I'm done with the polymorphism, inheritance, and isa pa, with encapsulation. So, yeah, that's it. That is the entire idea of OOP principles. And that is what Java actually parang evolving. I mean, everything you see in Java is OOP. Starting with the encapsulation, it's naa siya inheritance, na siya polymorphism. I'm gonna show you. A option pane that show input. Okay? So, natay show input dialog. Okay? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is overloading. So, there is polymorphism. Okay? So, ayan, polymorphism yan. That is, i-apply ni Java. Okay. I'm gonna show you another one. I'll have here, let's say, vector. So, vector, vect equals new vector. So, vect dot let's say add. Yan, add. You have add and add. So lahi-lahi og behavior. So that is overloading. That's polymorphism. Okay, I'm gonna show you another one. Let's say I have here. I'm gonna be using or adto ta sa linked list. Ayaw lang kayo pa na-discuss. Si stack na lang. Si stack. Stack st equals new stack. Yan, java.util nga stack. St dot, okay? So napod siya na siya add and add, but this time dili siya under kay stack. So override na niya, gi-override na niya kay vector. Kay kung napansin niyo si vector, okay? Vector dot add, so it's vector. So meaning it is from vector. It is originally from here. So, therefore, it is what? It is overloading. Pero, since st dot, okay, wait, tanggalan na ito ng vector. St dot, naa siya add and add, which is originally from vector. So, that is actually overriding. Meaning, parent di ay ni stack si vector. Nag-inherit dahil na si stack kay vector. Okay? Unsa may naa kay stack? Push. Ayan. Si push originally from stack. So, mao ni ang iyaha. Okay? So, there is relationship between stack and vector. What else? System.out.println. Okay? So, naapadri class. System.out.println. So, we have here print. Ayan. So, print. Everything you see in print are all overloading. Okay, print line, overloading. So, ayan, daghan kay overloading. So, this is the same thing na makita nato sa S1 dot, okay, let's say set, okay, mag-set ko, tanawa, na ako'y set person, na kay person, na pod ko'y set student na under kay student. So, that is polymorphism. And the idea of everything nga gigamit nato as a class is what we call encapsulation. So almost everything that we imported are all are encapsulated class. And it's all up to us if we're going to make use of them. Either, okay, by the way, either we instantiate them, okay, or we inherit them. By the way, when we talk about applying the principle of inheritance, of course, we use extends. Okay, so to create relationship, extends. Now, what we do here in vector, vector is equal to blah 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 or something like nag-anhi ko sa ani ko sa part-time employee, and then nagbutang ko diri og student. Wala na ako i-inherit si student, but I have here student S1 equals new student. I have also created relationship between student and, okay, student and wait, himo ko constructor dire. Okay, and then we have here S1 dot, so I can call get ID, okay, set course, set tuition, ayan. So I can call the set tuition, nanong get person age man eh. Anyway, basin na mali siya. Tuition, ayan. So let's say something like this one. So now, if I can instantiate my student to create relationship for part-time without inheriting it, this is what we call composition relationship. Composition is has a relationship. So pasabot ana na dili siya is a relationship kasi inheritance. So part-time is an employee or part-time employee is an employee. Employee is a person mo ng inheritance. Pero mo yung tag student, something like this. This is what we call composition, has a relationship. Ang relationship between a part-time employee and student is part-time employee has a student. Meaning to say, si part-time employee, pwede siya na student pa siya as of the moment. Meaning, my part-time employees are most likely mga students. So, part-time employee has student. Ayan, inana. Alright, example, library has books. Pero we cannot say na book is a library or library is a book. So, book has libraries. Okay, car has um, engine. Dili tama kaingon na car is an engine, pero car has engine. Okay? Pero pag yung tag Toyota is a car. Mercedes-Benz is a car. Okay? Ford is a car. But when we talk about Ford has engine, so meaning to say the relationship between the Ford and the engine is has a relationship. So, ayan si Java. That's how everything you need to understand in Java. And there's actually a lot more you can understand in here. So, and this is just the beginning of the idea about this particular language. All right. Question. So that's a lot, right? No, medyo daghan kayo to. So I just hope na atay na kutlo, na atay na learn from our discussion. Naa ba?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Na,
Daghan.
sir.
Okay. Naliwanagan na ninyo karon asa din ning inheritance, aha din ning encapsulation, aha din ning polymorphism. So murag I just hope na realize niyo no I've been using pala these concepts pero wala lang ko'y pangalan ato. But this time I can now name the the my algorithm. I can now name my codes na kani di ay siya na concept is in ani, kani na concept is in ani, and we are now able to speak the same language. Pag paingon ta o pag inherit lang dag ano, o i-polymorph pag ano lang polymorphism there or overloading sa imong kuan. So di ba we speak the same language. And that's the idea of object oriented principles. As a concept it is just going to teach us to to create a powerful and a, recyclable codes, no? So recyclable, we are able to reuse the codes, we are able to create relationships between our codes to other class, to establish strong relationship among these classes. Okay? Sige. So, dili na ako magdugay pa og ano, but I am going to give you activity for this week. Though naanay na upload dito but additional. So inani lang para ano lang niyo para ma-apply lang niyo. So i-record na tong appeal. So this time natay student and person na relationship, tama? Tama ba? Student
Yes,
to
Yes,
sir.
sir.
person, okay? An employee to person, whatever. Now, I would like you to create your own class structure. Okay? No need, dili siya program na i-program nimo. No, basta mga properties lang. So, the same with what I have here. Example, himo ko og nurse. Nurse in here or nurse extends. Unsa may pwede extends ni nurse? Person, student, employee. Okay, it depends sa imo ha. Pero pwede ka maghimo instead of person, pwede ka maghimo dili siya necessary na person. You can have flowers, no? So pwede flowers ka, pwede ka animals, pwede mammals, pwede mountains, pwede it's up to you. Basta there is relationship up to three classes. Basta anything na naay relationship between them, same sa gibuhat nato kay student, person, and employee. Okay? So, para lang ma-apply ninyo, para lang ma-try ninyo, okay, inaani jud ay na. That is how it actually works. Okay? Sige. So I'm going to put that in butang ako dito sa module 3 inheritance na activity aside from other activities. Okay, so that's all for OOP object oriented programming principles. And this time next week we are now going to focus on the parang projects. So there's still na lang ko yung mga 2 to 3 topics na lang. GUI and advanced OOP and try and catch and daghan pa di ay unta no. So sige lang try na to i-compress. So that's the next week na to na discussion, and then everything that we do there will be i-relate nako sa asa unsa na principles of OOP ang gi-apply ani. Okay? So this time, I am now free to tell you na pag mag-write kong program, okay, this is polymorphism, this is encapsulation, this is inheritance. Okay? So mao na ang kasi wala ko nag dati ana before. It's because basin ma-confuse mo sa mot. So karon it's since na mo idea about these principles, so I am now parang maano na ko na mo mention ani na mga principles in our succeeding topics or discussions. Okay? Sige. So, di na ako mag-ask og questions kung naay questions kay wala man siguro. Tama?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
about bita sa kwan, sir,
Mm.
sa activity, sir.
Opo.
Itong water tank, sir. Dito to sa video ibutang, sir.
Asay
Itong
video.
last mong ipabuhat sa last week. Namo tay kwan dito, video nga. Itong last week.
Naay video na na activity. Oo, didto katong naay
Oh,
video na
dito tay
activity.
butang, sir.
Yes, katong case na to na instance, katong case sa water tank, oo didto to.
Okay, sir.
Kay naman dito ang instruction sa video, di ba? Tama?
Yes, sir.
Po, kato tama. It serves you right. Sige. So I just hope that you have learned something today and naamoy mabaon no along the weekend. And so I guess that would be all. Namoy mga concerns? Wala.
Ang katuray kwan po, sir.
Yeah, sige.
Unsay nang kwan, sir, eh? Kanang cases, sir, sa UML.
Wala na to na discuss no. So wala niyo na nakuha to ninyo sa unsa na sa katong discussion lang nako sa Word. Libog pa siya.
Ang
Ang
katurong kwan, sir.
Actually, ang UML, like person, actually automatic na siya i-generate diri ni Dara. Actually, automatic na siya. Pero, syempre, this is like, mas okay nga, maghimo sa kada, Unified Modeling Language man na class diagram, maghimo sa ka og class diagram nimo, and then, di ba na atoy, let's say, kani mga attributes, tapos na kay mga methods, or behavior, tapos na ay minus o plus sign dito. Pag minus, private. So pag i-follow to nimo, makita ka, minus, that's private. Pag plus, that's public. So makita nimo na siya dito. Meaning, if i-follow na ko na UML diagram to, mao to akong isulat sa program. So by looking at it, I would be able to convert it into a into a class, parang actual class na. So actually, this is an example of a class diagram, but dili pa ni, wala ni siya relationship to other class kasi actually naa ni siya sa i-install lang nako. Sige lang, mag-generate ni siya og class diagram in which makita nimo ang relationship between sa imuhang classes na nag-relate sa other classes. Ayan. So every time mag-encapsulate ka, maghimo na siya og class diagram para sa imuha. Para ani. Kani example naman ni of class diagram. Na kay ID, course, tuition year, tapos naka-private, tapos naka-public. Na ano ba ni mo, Felmar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Na may sample po dito, sir.
Oh, yes. Naato ipang sample dito. Actually, sa water tank. Naato sa water tank. Gisample po nako to.
Katong sa dog po, sir.
O dog. O sa pa to? Mga pet. Pet man to, no? O sa pet. Dog, pet. Or katong mo bark. Dog will bark. Cat will meow, something inana. So makita nimo to naka-explain po to dito ang about sa pet, which is nag-evolve sa OOP. Okay? Sige. So tapay questions? Wala na.
Ano, sir?
By the way, wait for a while. So sa YouTube, sa atwang itawag na to ani? Sa link list na to na discussion, actually, sige, mag-meet man ta ugma, no? Sige, i-meet na lang ta mo ugma, pero I would like you to sa ato ang data structure rather ba, I would like you to read that in advance, katong link list. Katong kong gi-share gud sa inyong group chat. Na-share ba nako to? Tama ba ko?
Wala, sir.
Sure ba? So ito, LCC kani. Please watch this in advance. This is for our topic tomorrow sa data structures and algorithms. Kani siya. Data structure na to ugma, no? Alas 9, tama?
Yes, sir.
Ayan. Actually, naghimo na kong tutorial ato sa kato. Mao to akong gi-send sa inyo na tutorial. Actually, the same lang ako i-discuss ugma og katong na-discuss na ako sa YouTube. Gihimo na ako to for that purpose. Para unta, no, if ever ma-follow na lang to ninyo, you can actually follow it. Kani magong OOP medyo kailangan mangud taas mangud siya istoryaho nun. So mo nang I really need to meet you. Anyway, sige lang mag-meet ta ugma sa tuang data structure. Okay? Sige. So I guess we call it a day. Thank you guys for joining in and have a great day ahead. Have a great weekend by the way. See you guys tomorrow sa atong data structures.
Yes, sir. Salamat, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye. Sige, bye-bye.